Herzlich willkommen hier im Glaspalast von Sindelfingen, Michael Hurtz. Der Gegner von Michael Hurtz kommt aus den Niederlanden. Junger Kerl, 20 Jahre alt, hat sich in diesem Jahr in der Qualifying School die Tourcard sichern können und feiert hier und heute sein Debüt auf der European Tour. Die Rede ist von Zonneveld.
And I call your name like an addicted to cocaine. Goes all the stuff
A Euro Tour debut for Zonneveld, one of the crop of new young Dutch players who are now plying their trade on the PDC circuit. Only just made the step up to senior darts, having come through Q School on the opening day, won through every single game. Got Zonneveld, his tour card. He's still playing development tour stuff. He's won one of those. He's never set foot on a Euro Tour stage before until now, and he takes on the first home nation qualifier we get to see this weekend. Michael Hurtz, a man who has made a number of appearances on the European Tour and even won a couple of games as well. The most recent of which being 4 or 5 years ago. He beat the Rocket Ronnie Baxter and then went out to Peter Wright. And if he were to win this, it would be Peter Wright he faces again, the number 8 seed here in Sindelfingen this weekend. The Glaspalast, a place where Peter Wright has won this title in the past. And not only won it, he beat Michael van Gerwen 6-0 in the final. Chris Murphy back in the box.
First leg is Michael to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Not only that, the previous time that Michael Hurtz won a match on the European Tour, he lost to Peter Wright in the second round as well. So he could be on for a hat-trick of second-round defeats.
140.
To snakebite Wright, but he will have to get past Zonneveld, who is an emerging Dutch talent, as you mentioned. That victory on the opening day of Q School when he beat Christian Gödel in the final.
Have you had the pleasure of commentating on Zonneveld before? I'm not sure I've seen. This is the first time I've ever seen him play.
125.
Yeah, I don't think that he's appeared on the live stream since he started playing on the Pro Tour this year. Obviously, we do stream the floor events, but only selected matches are shown on the stream. And I don't think that any of Niels's games have been selected. But that is partly because he hasn't played as many as most. True.
I mean, look, this has got to be a learning experience for him. He's 21 years old. And yes, he'll want to step up to the tour and start winning things left, right and centre. But realistically, it'll probably take a bit of time.
Yeah, he lost 8 of his first 9
55
Players' Championship matches, but has had a run to a board final. That was at Players' Championship
81.
9.
Michael Uruguay 100.
A win against Michael Barnard and Robert Marjanovic followed that, but it's Michael Hurtz who is looking. Take the first leg, and he tees up tops.
Well, my immediate thoughts are it's a very round arm action he's got, isn't it, Zonneveld? It's almost 40. Chucking it out sideways with that left arm.
Yeah, he's on the first leg.
Nice
Michael
switch to double top there.
Second leg is Niels to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, Zonneveld. He doesn't look. I was just watching on the walk-on. He kind of ambled up to the stage, didn't he? Like a man who hasn't got a care in the world.
100.
Doesn't seem to be particularly impatient to throw his darts. And it is a strange throwing action, as you just mentioned, Dan. Yeah, it does seem kind of a diagonal forearm that he's got.
And it's starting over on the right-hand side and coming across.
81.
And look, as we've seen with many other players, you know, Nathan Derry is the most extreme example that you can see in the game at the minute of a player who
41.
He's called a slingshot. He literally slings it from one side, and if he gets it right, if his timing is right, then it can work fantastically.
40.
We've seen him play brilliantly.
Did you come up with that, the slingshot? I quite like that.
No, I didn't know. Nothing to do with me. He used to be the firework, and then he dropped off the tour, and then he came back and he just got a new nickname and a new shirt, and it fits perfectly.
Yeah, it does.
But, I mean, he's played some brilliant stuff on occasion that we've seen him this year, back on the tour, Nathan Derry. And a bit like, in a different way, John Henderson, who has that rocking motion back and forth. All right, it's not side to side.
96.
But he just has to get that all in sync for him to find his range. But when he does, it's very effective.
100.
I'm not aware of nicknames for either of these players. I don't know if you can enlighten me at all.
Not to my knowledge.
Should we make a couple up?
Okay. Michael, stop it,
96.
it hurts.
So I'm left with the task of finding a nickname to Zonneveld. Well, I'm going to call, because of the throw, I'm going to call him Zigzag Zonneveld.
Quite like that.
100.
It's not bad for you.
88.
And there we see the zig and the zag, but it hasn't ended with a dart of the ball for the leg.
Michael Leroy, 100.
Well, he was
60.
toying with the idea of tops there, but
40.
almost decided not to go through with it by the looks of it. Michael Hurtz now. Zigzag. Double 10.
Yeah, shot the second leg.
He likes to move it. 1-1.
Third leg is Michael to throw first. Game on.
Stop it, it hurts, Dan.
$54.
Michael Hurtz, 40 years old. And as you mentioned, is kind of more experienced than
129.
On the European tour at least, but Zonneveld now has that week-to-week experience of playing Pro Tour darts that can really see you accelerate your level of performance playing with the best in the world week in, week out.
134.
Yeah, Michael did turn up to Q School this year, but only turned up for the last
140.
day. Didn't do a great deal.
Yeah, I mean, I think Neil's made the better choice there. Turn up for the first day, win it, and then you don't have to play for the rest. Just, I mean, it's confident. It's a confident approach. I'm not sure whether that was the reasoning behind the decision, but again, without the knowledge, let's just make something up.
85.
He just said, I'll smash them all, and didn't. As many a dart player have done.
Right, look. Seen that tactic before. Look at this.
124.
Not having a great deal of joy moving over to the 18s. But he's got a chance here to break. Certainly does now.
23.
Yeah, they both seem pretty decent so far, as long as they're aiming at 20. And they've moved around the board. There have been a few dodgy shots, but I like this one.
42.
Staying in the same segment, but unable to find the double with either of the two darts that he earned himself.
Bit of a Simon Whitlock route, that, isn't it? The old treble 14 for double. He's going to get another crack at the double 14.
55. Nicaragua, 28. Game shot on the third leg. Niels Zonneveld.
2-1 to the 21-year-old from the Netherlands.
Yeah, this match brings us to the halfway point of the afternoon session. We've seen wins so far for Ross Smith, James Richardson and Christoph Ratajski. All of those players averaging around above 92.
96.
Richardson scoring 5 180s in his win over Matt Edgar. And then coming up, we've got a few, well, big names in this afternoon session.
85.
Former World Grand Prix finalist Brendan Doran, former current UK Open champion Nathan Aspinall, and the back-to-back World Youth champion Dimitri van den Berg all in action.
Well, I mean, the other game as well sees the quite recent BDO #1 against a man who's won a couple of PDC ranking titles.
100.
Mark McGeaney and Josh Payne. I mean, it's a real quality lineup for a Friday afternoon.
Yes, it really is.
42.
But this pair...
$140.
Not really finding the standard that has been set, certainly by the 3 victors this afternoon.
Well, it is perhaps to be expected the first host nation qualifier we've seen, and obviously the quality is not going to be as much as it has been in previous years because they're not allowing tour card holders to come through there, and a guy who's literally never set foot on a Euro Tour stage before. And I tell you what,
60.
if he does come through this, obviously Michael Hurtz has got experience of taking on Peter Wright in the Euro Tour, but if Neil Zonneveld comes through it, what an experience that will be for him.
100.
Because,
Michael Luke 160.
yes, this will be a help to him having been on this stage, but it's going to be completely different against Snakebite tomorrow if he can win this.
Yeah, I mean, if you look behind the players now, those of you who tune in regularly to European Tour darts will know it will not
60.
be like that
Neil Jaguar 103.
tomorrow and Sunday, perhaps not even tonight.
No, true. Beautiful dart. Double top.
Yeah,
That's
shot the
really
fourth leg.
good from Neil Zonneveld.
Fifth leg is Michael to throw first. Game on. $60.
Well, neither of us had seen him play before this match. We've seen him play for 4 legs now. Let's get the Dan Dawson verdict.
Well, I still think it's a little bit early.
77.
I would have concerns about his action. It does seem that there are plenty of things that can
140.
go wrong. Yeah, everything's got to be timed perfectly. But, as I say, as we often see from players with these idiosyncrasies in their actions,
58.
they can have days where things are going well and they can do special things. You know, he's evidently had a good day to come through on day 1 of Q School. He's won a development
60.
tour title, and we've seen how competitive the development tour is. Jeffrey Desvaughn's won 2 out of 60 of them.
Also a man who came through European Q School on the first day last year.
58.
I mean, it would be a big ask to go and follow in his footsteps as quickly, although Desvaughn obviously dropped off the tour and earned his tour card back immediately.
59.
Had
Yeah.
that experience already.
Dragutin Horvat.
98.
Will see Dragutin tonight. 3rd game on. I was just checking the list. Gavin Carlin, another Euro Tour debutant, who, I tell you what,
81.
you may not have seen him play before. He doesn't get things done quickly, but he can get them done well.
Yeah, one of the men that Neil Zonneveld has beaten on tour this year, Gavin Carlin. I think a
100.
particularly impressive
Michael
result,
Luke
having seen what
101.
Carlin can produce.
Well, Zonneveld has just
Neil
taken out
Jaguar
103.
110.
If he can take 110, it's 4-1 with a double break.
$70. Michael Jaguar
Hurtz
12.
needs to win this leg. And he's just checking that he's going to take aim at the right thing.
Yeah, shot the 5th leg. Michael Hurtz.
Interesting grip.
6th leg is Neil's to throw first.
I've noticed
Game
when
on.
Michael Hurtz throws as well, it is very much like holding a pen. Sort of creating a ring around the dart with his fingers.
60.
Well, it's
180.
And this match could be turning in the space of a few seconds.
Well, look, there aren't many people here, but it's fair to say that Michael Hurtz has a more fervent support.
57.
We could literally work out the percentage if we wanted to, Dan.
But we shan't.
58.
And they could. Yeah, I mean, ironically, this is the thing. You can have an enormous crowd, and yes, they can play a part in the game.
100.
But a smaller crowd can actually have more of an influence on play because you can hear those individual voices.
Yeah, it's the old shout out at the wrong time, the whistle.
133.
And Zonneveld might find himself here having
100.
a bit of a storm to weather because Hurtz, having left himself 130 after 9 darts, has 6 at least to break here.
92.
I'll be interested to see what he does when he comes back to the board looking at that 38, particularly as Zonneveld's going to be quite handily placed.
100.
Now, does he
38.
split it? Does he go at it?
He splits. Does he hit?
22. Neil Juriguar,
Not
84.
really very close to hitting, was he?
He was not. Zonneveld will be hoping for 2 at double 12, but now he'll settle for 1 at double 11.
73.
Nor was he very close to hitting.
Neil Juriguar, 16.
For a level game. Round the board we go.
Yeah, so the 6
Double
leg,
four is
Michael
pinned.
7 leg, it's Michael to throw first.
Well, back-to-back legs for Michael Hurtz
Game
on
on.
double 6 and double 4. That side of the board doing well for him, certainly better than the other side.
Yes, Donatello, Michelangelo, Leonardo and Raphael certainly enjoyed
82.
it.
Any news on Bebop and Rocksteady?
$140.
It's a good effort to come in the full fancy dress on a Friday afternoon session.
They might. That might be their
58.
usual Friday attire, Murph.
Well, this is true.
I'm
I mean,
astonished by what you're wearing, but it turns out that's just de rigueur.
I think people in glass palaces should not throw stones down.
140. 60.
Well, even though Zonneveld looked like he was getting on top, and now Hurtz has had a little spell, we've never really seen much
93.
in the averages. They're both around that 80 mark. But this could be the best leg of the match from Zonneveld if the 128 goes, and he's going to be forced to have a go at it, I think. Oh, well, can't stay
125.
straight.
Well, he got some encouragement from the crowd, and that could have put him off. He looked around there. But this could go. Double 10.
108.
He will be back. Under what pressure?
Great response from Zonneveld.
78.
This is double 10 for a 128 and a 12 darter, but comes back to clear it up. Or maybe not.
Needs to go low.
10. Michael Juriguar, 98.
Might have needed to kneel to throw that dart in the double. And now Hurtz gets a couple of darts. And that's the problem. We saw him split earlier on with 38 and 3 in hand.
There's
Had
Juriguar,
to go
10.
for the double 19 really on that occasion because he could have had 2.
And look what he's done as well.
Yeah, and that was by throwing the last dart in anger.
And
6.
look what he's coming back to.
Michael Juriguar, 2.
Zonneveld continues to miss. He missed the double for a 12 dart leg in this one. Hurtz could win it in 21.
No score.
A lesson learned.
Neil Juriguar, 4.
Well, this would rub salt into the wound.
2. Michael Juriguar,
It is
2.
a pub leg. It's worth the same as all the others. But who
No
wants
score.
it?
Niels, you require 2.
Well, Kirk Bevans might be able to play that call on a loop for a while.
Oh, ye of little faith, Murph. Ye of little faith.
No
Actually, yeah,
score.
you're probably right.
Michael, you require 2.
2. But he comes back and can't really say that he's got away with the silly dart that he threw.
No score.
Oh, my.
Niels, you require 2.
To make that mistake once is bad.
Yeah, shot on the
To
7
make
leg.
it
Niels
twice.
Zonneveld. 8 leg is Niels to throw first.
Word.
Yeah, that is a breaker throw, and it could prove to be the pivotal point in this match.
Game on.
We've seen 103 check out and some decent stuff from this pair, yet a mad leg ended on double 1 after a string of missed darts from each player.
57.
Could be the crucial moment.
Well, just have a look. The last 4 legs, Niels Zonneveld has put himself in positions and nearly come up with the answers. He's taken
81.
out 103. He's missed tops for 110 the next leg. He's missed a double 11 for an 84, and then he missed double 10 for a 128 combination. And yet,
100.
he's lost 2 of those legs, missed loads of darts at double. There you see.
41.
19 darts at double missed by the Dutchman. 11 missed by Michael Hurtz. And never before has the nickname Stop It, It's Hurtz
81.
seemed more appropriate.
'84.
It's apt, but I'm not sure it is one that he will choose to adopt himself.
80.
Well, that's unfortunate. He's made the right decision to come down for the 19s, but looks to have cannoned off a wire.
100.
Well, just one treble in this visit would have put Zonneveld in
79.
a strong position. He managed to rescue the shot somewhat, but he's still on a 3-darter.
100.
And
Niels
Hurtz,
require 104.
he's on a finish that can be completed in 2. So was Zonneveld, but wasn't expecting him to go away in which it could be completed in 2. But Hurtz has a decision to make
68.
now.
Michael require
Is it
95.
treble 19 for double, or does he take aim at the bull?
Well, leaves him 83. Not going to get the treble 17. And it's all gone horribly wrong. But all hope is not lost. I would have thought the last few legs
48.
would have told us that.
Niels require 36.
Yeah, more margin for error if missing here, but he
And
does not
shot the 8
miss.
leg. Niels Zonneveld.
And now Niels
That leg is
Zonneveld
Michael to throw first. Game on.
is a leg away from winning on his European Tour debut.
Oh, the bullet, Stephen Bunting,
100.
is watching back at his hotel room. He suggested, Michael, everybody hurts. Yeah? Yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah?
it's all right.
77.
Like this song, yeah?
I mean, everybody who's watching this does at times, but one leg in particular, let's not be
100.
too unkind to the players, but it's not quite up there with nicknames like the Bullet, is it? Come on, Stephen, you can do better than that.
100.
Niels Zonneveld can do better than we've seen today, I am sure of it. And that is the first 180. And he may well make a winning debut
60.
on the Euro Tour to set up a clash with Peter Snakebite Wright. There's very little between them. It has been
86.
a strange old game that, to be honest, the score could have been pretty much anything because there have been so many missed darts at doubles.
81.
Nobody
Niels
walks
require
away from this game
158.
thinking, I deserve that. They think, I've got away with it.
Oh,
77.
Well, you deserve that.
Michael require 160.
Well, 160 would have come out of a clear blue sky, I would suggest, for Michael Hurtz.
122.
But he has managed to
Here's
find a
your
couple of trebles.
81.
Left that 38 again. Zonneveld. Well, now what does he do here? Went for the treble, could have chosen to go for
41.
2 doubles.
Michael Grégoire, 38.
Hurtz has had a missed attempt at double 19, split earlier on, but then didn't hit. This time he has hit.
Ninth leg, Michael Hurtz. 10th leg, it's Niels to throw first. Game on.
Can Niels Zonneveld close this out? Throwing for the match. Oh,
75.
Very unfortunate with bounce outs. He's had one off the wire. He's had one fall out of the 57, and that one, look, there was evidently a slight deflection there, but
I'm going to give a comparison here that you mentioned Nathan Derry as a potential comparison. I think if you merge the throws of Nathan Derry and Benito van der Pas, you arrive somewhere near what Niels Zonneveld is doing. And Benito van der Pas was a man who suffered a lot of bounce outs with his previous set of darts. Zonneveld's had a fair few in this match. Fortunately for him, neither of those three.
Well, you've got to be very impressed. He suffered a number of bounce outs, and then to come back and fire in his second 180 of the game there, that takes some mental fortitude.
112.
Well, once again, we find ourselves where Niels Zonneveld is on a potential 12-dart leg.
100.
The last time he was on the 12-dart leg, it took another 6 visits. Oof, wow.
They're threatening to
94.
clean that up in one. And Hurtz 200 behind. Zonneveld
60.
has all the time in the world, it seems, to seal the deal. And he has.
And the match,
Niels Zonneveld
wins
on his European Tour debut. Michael Hurtz heads home. And Zonneveld, the Dutch youngster, will take on Peter Snakebite Wright tomorrow in the second round. We'll be back after a very, very brief interval when we see Kim Viljanen take on the UK Open champion Nathan Aspinall. Stay tuned for that.
Erstes Match auf der European Tour für Niels Zonneveld und er holt sich auch gleich den ersten Erfolg. Applaus für Michael Hurtz. Das ist nicht so gelaufen, wie er sich das vorgestellt hat. Und Niels steht in Runde 2 und trifft auf Peter Wright. Niels, congratulations. Can we speak German? No, English is better.
English
is better. First match on the European Tour, first win. Was not easy, that game, huh?
No, it was not easy, but I'm happy with the win. As you said, wasn't it easy? Difficult game. Not in my spell game the whole match, but I'm happy with the win.
Tomorrow it will be totally different. The venue will be packed. Peter Wright is coming, and it will be a great atmosphere. Are you looking forward to that, or are you nervous, or are you afraid of playing him?
No, I'm looking forward to that because I have nothing to lose in that game. So Peter Wright's the favorite, so I will see what I can do.
Have you played him before?
No, not yet.
See you tomorrow. Thank you very much. Niels Zonneveld, freut sich morgen auf Peter Wright, spielt ihn zum allerersten Mal und er weiß, das wird was komplett anderes sein als hier heute.